Hey guys, today in Art Club with Miss Burford, we'll be creating clay Easter eggs. You'll need a selection of gardening magazines, white air dry clay, cookie cutters in the shape of an egg, some Mod Podge, a sponge spreader, some letter stamps, string, scissors, and also a straw. The first step is to get your clay nice and smooth, rolling it in your hands. You'll see that I sprayed a little bit of water on here because mine was actually quite dry. But if it is a bit dry, just add a bit of water and it'll help smooth it out. Roll it between your hands to create a ball, and then you can also roll it on the table to smooth it out even more. When you have a smooth ball of dough, you'll need a rolling pin, which I forgot to mention earlier, to roll out your clay to the thickness of just smaller than the width of your little finger. As you can see, I didn't have a rolling pin to hand, so I used this empty can, so it is round and smooth for me to roll out my clay. And then when you've rolled out your clay, use your egg cookie cutter, that's very hard to say, and cut out an egg shape. Then at the top of your egg, using a straw, just poke a hole and give it a wiggle, and then it'll actually take that piece of clay out. Next we can add a little message to our egg, so I just simply put Easter, but you might want to put springtime, Easter time, hoppy Easter, excellent, as in eggs, not X. Anything like that you'd like to put, but I just like to keep it simple with Easter personally, and leave plenty of space below so you can add your pictures. Leave this to dry for 24 hours at least. I like to leave mine for 24 hours on one side, flip it over and let the bottom also dry out. When it's fully gone hard, you can then thread through your string through your hole and then tie it in a little knot at the top so that this can be hung somewhere, either on an Easter tree or hanging up somewhere in the home. If you want to add a bit more colour, you can of course use coloured ribbon. Now we can start adding some colour to our Easter egg. So, going through our magazines, we can look at any flowers that you want to add. So you might want to go for a colour scheme or a selection of colours. I go for a selection of colours on this one. And you don't even have to stick to flowers, you could add some animals, so like chickens, rabbits, birds, things like that which make you think of springtime. Or if there's any like garden sheds or anything, you might want to add something like that, or a little Easter bonnet. Just cut any of the pictures out of the magazine that catch your eye, and then we can neaten them after. As you can see, when I've chosen a flower or a plant to go on my clay egg, I cut around it very carefully and try and cut it as neatly as possible. This is great for practicing cutting. And then repeat this step so that you can build up your own, well, I guess it's decoupage at the bottom of your Easter egg. Just cut the flowers out for now. It doesn't matter if you cut out too many, you don't have to use them all, but just play around with where you want to lay them first of all. When you've played around with the composition on your clay egg, you can then put down some Mod Podge and lay down your flowers and other cutouts along the bottom, and then as you place them down, also go over them with a layer of Mod Podge, so this will keep them nice and flat. And you don't even have to use Mod Podge, you can just do watered down PVA, that works in the same way, it's pretty much the same thing. But just keep building and layering your picture until you're happy with it, and again just seal over the top with Mod Podge. I've kept my Easter egg plaque very simple and tried to focus on the flower detail. However, if you want to, you can try with a fine paintbrush to paint in the Easter letters to make it stand out a little bit more. But I like how pure and simple it is. Here's the little birdie that I added at the end. I just felt like something else needed to go into this space, and I thought it just added a bit more of a spring touch. I have completed the design on the front of my egg, so now I need to tidy up these edges where it's overhanging. Flip your egg over and just get your scissors and cut around the shape of the egg, and that's the easiest way to cut off any excess bits of paper. And again, go in with the Mod Podge and just go around the edge of the Easter egg, and these will flatten down the edges and add a nice shine. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more art lessons like this every week and other art related content every now and then. See you next week for more Art Club with Miss Burford.